Hello, beloved church family of the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Paul Prasuti. I'll be your host tonight. I welcome you to our midweek oasis, our Wednesday night service. As you'll be able to experience tonight, our Wednesday night oasis is a place where we come together as a community to be spiritually refreshed between Sundays. Most Wednesday night services build upon the theme of the previous Sunday, sharing in a satsang style, expressing science of mind principles and practices with the intention that this gathering be informal, intimate, and interactive. Our annual theme for CSLs for 2024 is a grand rising. And our monthly theme for June is holy boldness. Last Sunday, Reverend Jerry Carter introduced those ideas inspired by the talk title of Sacred Audacity. And tonight, our speaker will continue the exploration of this very same topic. So as we gather tonight, I really want to welcome everyone that's here. We have some first-time joiners that I'm aware of. We're so glad you're here with us. And if you're watching us for the first time on the recording that'll be published later in the week, we welcome you. When Reverend Sunshine first came to us, she extended an invitation that spoke to my heart, and I was able to respond to that. She said, "Come to the center well." So as I welcome you tonight, I encourage you to come to this center well. And to do so, she gave us 6 C's for us to consider and incorporate in doing so. She starts out with compassion, which she narrates as, "Come with a heart of love and tenderness." Then she says, "Come ready to exchange openly," which she calls communication. "Come in friendship and family." That's known as camaraderie. "Come in harmony and ready to share." We call that communion. And come with collaboration. Come in partnership and cooperation. And most importantly, she said, come in spiritual awareness and truth. And we call that consciousness. So as we move into the program tonight, these 6 C's are the premise of sharing a wonderful evening with you tonight. If you're new to our community or watching on our recording, please visit our homepage and explore it. Click around and see what's there, and make sure you click on the I'm New icon and look at the lower left-hand corner of that page to submit your email address. Once you do, you'll begin receiving our Village News newsletter once a week in your email. That newsletter has all the information on what is happening at the center in the coming weeks. So before we get started with the talk, please mute your own audio microphone during tonight's service. You can leave the camera on. When you mute your audio microphone, it will improve the quality of our recording and tonight's transmission. And please stay tuned through the end of the service in order for me to share with you special and important announcements about things going on at our center. So now it's time to talk about our speaker tonight. Her talk is also titled Sacred Audacity, as it was on Sunday, and that's our very own Rev. Deb Hammond. Rev. Deb is an ordained interfaith minister by way of One Spirit Seminary and has been a licensed practitioner in Centers for Spiritual Living since 2009, and she started in the Oakland Bay area. She has a passion for supporting others in the transformation of expressing their authentic selves using various spiritual practices, for example, meditation, affirmative prayer, and visioning. It is her passion in supporting others in rediscovering their truth and recognizing their true expressions of the one, whole, perfect, and amazing, exactly as they are. She is a wisdom seeker, a person who answers the call to live a life that continues to awaken her to an inner knowingness and lifts her to a higher level of consciousness. She has a spiritual catchphrase, and here it is: let's go. So, with more or less to say by me, I'm thanking you in advance for being our speaker tonight, Rev Deb, so much. And as we do with every organized event here at the center, we open with prayer. Rev Deb, will you be doing the honors this evening?
Actually, yes, I will be doing the opening prayer today.
Yay.
So let us just take in a deep breath as we give thanks for that breath and just letting that breath go. Recognizing and knowing that right where we are, God is. That the boldness of God that is everywhere, that is within us. Knowing that as we step boldly into this right now moment, that as we continue to listen and know and follow the instructions that Spirit downloads into us, pours into our hearts, that we say yes, whether we feel that we're ready to or not, that there is a knowingness within us that knows exactly what to do at every given moment, and that we say yes to that. So we're saying yes to this Wednesday night oasis tonight, blessing and giving thanks for each and every person that is here with us, those that will show up on the recording or watch the recording, those that may come in later. Giving thanks for all of the hands and the hearts that have made this time together so welcoming and loving and so receptive. So I just give thanks knowing that whatever it is that Spirit is guiding me to say and do in this right now moment, that it is done. However you are to receive this with your open heart, open mind, arms wide open to receive that Spirit is downpouring into you, into your spirit, that I know that is received well. So I just give thanks for this time that we have here together and knowing that this is already done in the mind of God. So we just get to sit back, enjoy this, be bold and audacious and have fun with this and allow ourselves to just be. And I just give thanks for this time. And I release this to the law, knowing that it is so. And I anchor this with, and so it is. Amen. Who? So, how is everyone tonight? Are you feeling bold? Are you feeling audacious tonight? You know, when I was doing the meditation earlier, you know how you always have something scripted out and then all of a sudden something else shows up to incorporate into the talk. And that's part of what's happening tonight. But what I was led to also read was out of the themes for this month. It's holy boldness. And to even think about what does that feel like? It's like, you know, walking with Spirit in this holy boldness, knowing that wherever you walk, wherever you go, that you are walking boldly, knowing that the ground that you're walking on is sacred ground. That bold that you know that wherever you are, God is, and that you move and act and you show up in that way. So the summary for the topic for today, it says our participation is needed in life. We have choice and volition in how we engage. We can either subdue our light or live boldly in a vibrant manner. How many times have you thought about things that you wanted to do? And you may go back to think, somebody may have said, well, why do you want to do that? You can't do that. You're not good enough to do that. And like that candle that we light, all of a sudden that light goes out. Or do you go back within and think about, I know that God created me perfectly. And I know God didn't make any junk. So I know that what I'm being called to do, that I get to step boldly into this right now. Start prepping for it. Start preparing your mind for the information, knowing that whatever it is that's needed for this journey of boldness and audaciousness, that it's already there within us. As Ernest Holmes says, there's a power for good in the universe, and we can use this. How many times have you tapped into this power? How many times have you thought about tapping into this power, knowing that there is a power that's out there that's for you, that you can really tap into. I remember, where are we in 2024? So about 2016, when I was in Savannah, and I was doing a talk at the spiritual center that I was a part of. And I had already had a talk already written out. So when I was on my way to the center, it was about a half-hour drive. I was closing the door, and Spirit gave me a totally different song to sing, to play for them, and shifted my talk. And the song that I had to hurry up and find on my radio was Michael Jackson's Bad. And so as I'm driving, I'm like, okay, Spirit, what are we going to do with this song? And so I had to listen to the lyrics and everything, but it wasn't about the lyrics. So many times it's like I use acronyms. And so I had arrived at the center, and the people that were there, I told them, I said, Spirit gave me another topic to use, so it's different than what I had sent out to you all earlier. And in the audience, one of the participants, they had their children there. One was a 10-year-old young lady that was there, and then her brother that was there. And so when Spirit gave me this message, and it was the acronyms for BAD: bold, audacious, and daring. And it's like, and I started speaking on that topic. And I'm still in my mind trying to think of, why is Spirit having me to do bad? And so as I gave the talk, and it's like, and you're not always, when Spirit gives you stuff, when you're speaking to people, you never know the reason why. You may not know. You just know that you're following the instructions that you're given. And that's what I did. So I went through the entire talk, and then after the service, then I greeted everybody, and then we went our separate ways. I got home that afternoon, and the guy that was there, that had his daughter there, he sent me this text message back, and he said that his daughter really grasped onto that. He said that she took that bad, and she went, when she got home to her sisters, her older sisters, she went in there, she says, I am bad, I'm bold, I'm audacious, and I'm daring. And it's like, and she just said it just like with no fear whatsoever, but there was that inner knowingness. And they shared that with me. And I'm just like, wow. And so I've kept track of her, as she's gone through high school, and she's doing some amazing fashion things and stuff in high school. And she's ready to graduate next year. But she took that and she held on to that being bold, audacious, and daring. And she just ran with it. So it's just so amazing of when we hear these things of being bold and audacious, that we're walking in this place of audacity. And then sometimes people may ask, who are you to have the audacity to think that you're better than, or that you can do all of this stuff? Spirit created me to be audacious. So why not step into that? Why not move into that as I'm created to be? There is the affirmation that was for this month. It says, I am bold, courageous, and brave. So I want to ask, how many of you feel that way? How many of you, wake up in the morning sometimes and think that you're feeling bold or courageous and brave? And then in that place, I'm mixing this up a little bit, because I'm going to allow you all to answer this. And if you're not feeling that way, then what hidden belief or beliefs or perceptions are being held, that you hold, in regards to being bold and audacious? Are there any? Because I know there are plenty of us that want to go out there and do things, but are we bold enough to step into it? Are we audacious enough to do this? Are we daring enough to do this? Is there anybody that wants to chime in right now and just kind of think about if there's something that may be holding you back, or even think about, when was a time that you really became really bold and stepped out and did what Spirit guided you to do? I can't see any screens in the gallery view, so I don't know who's who's there if there's nobody? No one? So what I know is like, even when I think about, so I'm coming to the practitioners, because what I know is, I know for me, when I went into practitioner study, that was not my first thought of going into becoming a practitioner. It kind of fell into place in regards to as I did all of the other training. And then I thought about, well, what is practitioner training about? So for the practitioners that are there, even those that have been practitioners for years, how does being a practitioner, how does that allow you to be audacious, to step into that, have that audacity of spirit as you're doing your sessions with people, or as you're up doing the prayer, because that's a bold space to be in also. So what does that feel like for you?
Rev Deb, Alice Newton put her hand up for a second. She might have something to respond.
Okay, I can't see who the people are on my
That's
end.
okay. I'll help you.
Thank you. All right.
I wasn't going to say anything because I was afraid I was talking too much.
See, there you go.
Right? Just dampen that light down, right? No way. So being a practitioner, I knew I wanted to be a practitioner, but I didn't know why. I didn't even really know what a practitioner did. But what I did recently that felt really audacious is I gave a talk for the first time, and I was scared to death. But once I did it, I had so much energy returned to me. So all that energy that I was using, holding myself down, released and used in a loving way, for love, for oneness, right? And so that was a lesson to me. Take more risks. And so if I'm not feeling as courageous on a certain day, I'll take a smaller risk. But it's still important to take a risk. So thank you. I love what you said. I was born to be audacious.
Yes.
You go, Rev.
This is how spirit created us to be. Spirit did not create that place of fear within us, but although we can use fear, but we're not to be allowing fear to hold us back. So is there anyone else that wants to share their audacious or their bold move, or how they're moving in that way right now? See, all these people that are on here, I know there's somebody. I'm gonna have to go through the room and so I can pick someone out, because I can feel the energy right about now, although I can't see everyone. What I know is that, when we go back to this affirmation, I am bold, courageous, and brave. Just take that in for a moment. Just allow that to sit with you for a moment. How does that feel within your body? I am bold. I am courageous. I am brave. Paul, I was thinking about earlier, there's some of the things that you shared with me. It's like when you were doing your drag um, scene years ago. That's a bold move. It's like stepping out and being who you are, allowing yourself to be in the glamour and the glitz of all of that. That was a bold move. It's like, as we're celebrating Pride this month, it's like a lot of people are truly stepping into who they are. And they're doing it boldly, or they're doing it as if they're knowing, this is who I was created to be. This is how I'm choosing to live my life. So, I applaud, it's like I've seen the pictures that you've shown, Paul, and, it's just like, oh my gosh, this is just so amazing and so fascinating.
Well, there's something behind that, though. That's just what outpictured for me. I'm going to be bold and I'm going to say something. I've known my mother and my stepdad encouraged us and loved us enough to be who we are. I've always known I was brought here to do something very special. Worldwide, earth-shattering special. I just didn't know what it was. And what it outpictured into was my career in female illusion work, which then led me to lead an organization during the AIDS crisis where I could be in that female gender and raise money and help people with AIDS. And I served in that capacity in that organization for 10 years administratively after I had my initial role. A lot of people don't know that, and I'm not bragging, I'm just bold. Okay. Big difference there. Okay. So, but what I want to share, because I want others to share their boldness and whatever it is. But the important thing is, I didn't know what it was, but I had this feeling tone all the way back, maybe even before I came into this incarnation, that I was special and meant to do something great in the world. That was just one way it outpictured for me. So it goes back to, you can be bold, but you have to use your creative juices to evoke it out of you. And you have to just nurture it, and the right thing will come, and then it's easy and graceful. So
Yes.
I hope
So
that helps.
thank you for sharing that, Paul, because that's how life is. It's like, we get this divine idea, and Spirit gives us to us, and then what do we do with it? Do we hold on to it, or do we go out and make things happen with it? Reverend Sunshine, you have your hand up.
I do. Well, y'all know me to be bold. I think, I just do what Spirit tells me to do. And if it's bold, then I just have to find the faith and the strength and the courage. But, I've developed that over time, but it's not new. Dorothy will appreciate this, hopefully. So I first got my practitioner license and went into training in the mid-'80s at Oakland Center. Was First Church of Religious Science of Oakland at that time. And we, back in that time, had what we called dial-a-prayer, which meant that the practitioners would leave a prayer on the prayer line, and you could get a different practitioner periodically. And so I was led to sing on the dial-a-prayer one time, and at one point. And so it kind of got out amongst our practitioner group that called the prayer line, Sunshine singing on the prayer line, But it didn't feel bold to me, but that is a bold move, because somebody would, I could say, nobody else is doing that. I'm hearing a song, but nobody else is doing it, so I won't do it, or what have you. But instead, I just followed what Spirit told me to do. So that's a bold move, I suppose you could say.
Wow. Thank you for that.
And guess what? That has evoked some hands up in the air, Rev Deb. Miss Dorothy is going to respond to, I'm sure, that statement. Miss Dorothy,
Come on, Miss Dorothy.
say?
And yes, sweetheart, the
Come
prayer
on.
line still exists. And I am the person that puts the prayer on the prayer line. But being bold is when I found religious science in 1981. I can remember having a Wednesday night service on the labyrinth in the church. And Reverend Linda was our Wednesday night person. And I decided then, listening to Reverend Margaret, it was her first Sunday service as the senior minister there. I needed everything she said. I met people who helped me through the process of my daughter becoming an Oakland police officer. I met a family who also had a police officer daughter. They helped me through this foundation class, number 1. Foundation class was 1, 2, and 3. And we were a year taking these classes.
Wow. Yeah.
And I decided then, my journey was to follow spirit. And I remember my father saying to me years ago, Dorothy, be a nurse and you'll always have a job. Okay. I became a nurse and I always had a job. But the job I enjoyed the most was becoming a practitioner at Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. And I proud myself of being 22 years as a practitioner at Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. And I know that we have done recordings of prayer books and all kinds of things. God has opened doors for me that I could not have possibly imagined. And Reverend Deb, as far as being audacious at 83 years old, I'm stepping back, sweetheart, and saying, thank you, Mother, Father, God, for all the blessings that you have bestowed upon me in my 30 years being at Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. But I do remember what Reverend Sunshine was singing on that prayer line, and I love it. And the prayer line still exists for those who want to call in and receive a prayer. I'm complete.
Thank you for sharing that. Wow. Like, keep that up. Continue to be that bold, live that bold life, that bold, audacious life.
She ain't running out of boldness, no matter where.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Judith Roberts. Judith Roberts, one of our practitioners and our future co-host of Wednesday night, has her hand up as well.
Yeah, well, I thank you, Paul. I love the topic, and I've had a lot of times when I feel like I was bold and audacious in my life, but I wanted to think of something recently, and I thought of something in April, this last April, when I was in Mexico traveling with a friend. We were both 70 years old, and we decided to take a tour that was called a tour of the Rio Secreto, the secret river. And it's an underground river. It's a cave, an underground river that we entered through a cave. We wore wetsuits. We were on a tour with about 12 other people and a guide. And we had little booties on, wetsuit booties, and a wetsuit and a headlamp. And so this guy took us into the tour. I said a prayer before entering the cave, just kind of a prayer of gratitude. And then we went in, and the guide very quickly put me and my friend at the front of the line where he was so that he could help us because the bottom was uneven. And we had walking sticks. Because it was kind of hard to negotiate, and we could hold his hand if we needed. Then he moved me one back and my friend in front because he realized she was a little slower and a little more unstable than I was. And we walked a mile underground in this river with stalactites and stalagmites. I mean, it was spectacularly beautiful, and this clear turquoise water. And then at one point, he had us turn off our lights, and we were in pitch black we couldn't even see our hand in front of us. And that was amazing. It was a living cave. There were fish in the water and bats. I don't know how anything lived there in the pitch black. But anyway, we kept going with our lights back on again, and we came to a chamber. You'd go through these narrow passages and then open up into a big room. And this one room I felt it felt sacred to me. It felt like a sacred room. And my friend said it felt like a temple. So I asked the guide if he knew if any of the indigenous people had honored it in this way. And he said, well, just recently, some altars were found in the back of the cave. And I was guided. I work with voice and sound healing. And I asked him, I just was guided to do this. Could we do some vocal toning here? And he said, I've never done that, but you lead it. He said, yes, you lead it. So someone else had the inspiration, and I would have, but someone else said first, everyone turn off their headlamps. So we're completely in the dark. And then I taught them how to tone using just the ohm, you know, the sound ohm, and to do it with continuous breathing. So the sound is constant with the intention and the feeling of gratitude. So we're giving gratitude through our voices in this environment in the pitch black. Only 4 people spoke English. So everything I said, he translated into Spanish for all the other people, and everyone was on board. I mean, it was a complete group I didn't know, but everybody participated. And it was really, really powerful. And then at the end, one person interrupted the silence a little bit by speaking, but then they stopped. And you just kind of, you know, after the sound stops, you just take in this incredibly beautiful, powerful feeling in the silence. And after a little while, then we all turned our lights back on and I'm going like this, it's a headlamp, kept going. And I learned later, and I posted this on my Facebook page, this whole story with the picture. I learned later that we did this on Earth Day.
Oh, wow.
So we're underground. It felt like in the belly of the Mother Earth,
Yes.
giving gratitude in unison, you know, as one voice almost, and with people that were complete strangers. And I just did it because I was guided to,
Yes.
and the guide was open to it, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful experience. But it was bold and audacious to do it.
Yes.
To follow that
Wow.
guidance. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. That's very powerful. And that's what happens when we listen to Spirit, because we never know what Spirit guides us to do in any given moment. And so when you listen and went into, and everyone was in agreement, it's, you know, just like everybody coming together, and that sound that went into the earth and, you know, surrounded Mother Earth and Mother Gaia and just came back out. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Is there anyone else that wants to share anything about being bold or walking in the audacity?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Lita. I'm on the phone.
Hi,
I
Lita.
cannot.
Miss Lita.
Hi, I cannot access Zoom in the normal way, but I'm on the phone. I don't see anyone. I don't know what to click to bring you in, all of you in. It's been a long time since I've been on Zoom because it hasn't been working properly. So I would like to, I don't even know what to hit to bring my my light on. So I'll be able to see you. But right now I don't see anyone, but I can hear all of you.
Yes.
So
what's your bold and audacious testimony, or your thoughts, or how are you moving in this world in this bold, audacious way?
a good question. And that's a very good question. I would say right now my bold and audacious way is relative to the medical field. So that's not very pleasant at the present time. So I think I'd prefer to skip that question and wait till the next one.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here, though. And it's just a matter of, you know, if we have any hidden beliefs that's stopping us or blocking us from stepping out boldly, are we aware of those? And if so, what do we do with those hidden beliefs that come to the surface?
And Lita is being very bold, finding her way in no matter what.
Yes,
to be with
exactly.
Us. Good for you, Miss Lita.
Thank you, Miss Lita, for
Your way.
Hi, Paulie.
Hi, honey.
Ooh.
That's all right. Sit back. Sit back and rest. We got Lula. Lula Green has her hand up for you, Rev Deb.
Okay, go ahead, Lula.
Well, today I had a very, very good day. And I belong to the Dr. Dan group. And today it was yesterday, today, and tomorrow was the name of the topic. And it was a very good, what was holding us back. That's what it was speaking to. what holds you back from being
Yeah.
in the now. And as soon as I got off the phone, I got a telephone call from my younger sister saying that my older sister, who has stage 4 cancer, was back in the hospital while she came to get a treatment. But while she was in the treatment, she had a side effect of the treatment. And any other time, I was so proud of myself, because any other time I would have to go through my little dance before I settled down. But I immediately went to prayer. And I felt so good and then it would take me so long to get back. But today, I went straight to prayer. She's doing better. I'm doing great.
Yes.
I'm complete.
Oh, all right. That's wonderful.
Thank you for sharing that. Oh my gosh. You know,
God
it's so
is
amazing
good
when
all the
we go to
time.
prayer. Yes. When we go
Yes.
to prayer and allow
Yes.
Spirit
Yes.
to guide us, and we give it to Spirit, and amazing things, miracles upon miracles upon miracles happen all the time.
Always.
Yes. Well, I have to say that. Have you finished? I don't
Oh,
want to.
Yes, go ahead.
yes.
Go ahead, Ms. Lita. Ms. Lita.
I just want to say that several things were missing or appeared to be missing. Like at one time it was my keys. Next time it was something else, and I couldn't find them. And so I just kept declaring that what I am seeking is right before me.
Yes.
And I kept saying that. And my keys were missing for about 6 or 7 months. Well, I have a clothes hamper outside the bedroom door, and then next to the hamper was a big jar of water in a green bag. And of course, I looked everywhere in that bag. But this one time, Spirit said, look again. So I just moved my hand around in the green bag, and all of a sudden I saw something shiny, and there were my keys. And so they were right before me all the time. I just didn't see them. So that was Spirit moving me in the right direction, and that has happened several times. And the things that appeared to be missing showed up, and I'm very grateful. And it was a flashlight. I thought it was one place, and it was somewhere else. And so those were wonderful demonstrations, because I believed and declared that what I was seeking was right before me. And I held to that. And sure enough, they showed up. So that's just a small testimony. And let's see. I love to eat. So a couple of weeks ago, I was wishing for some salmon. And my neighbor downstairs was cooking, and he hollered out, Lita, you want some salmon tacos? And I said, sure. So he brought me up a plate of salmon tacos with rice and something else. It was good. The day after that, another neighbor brought me some salmon something. And after that, another neighbor brought me a whole dinner with salmon and vegetables and rice. So even though it was in my consciousness, but I really didn't think I still wanted it, well, there they appeared. It all appeared.
There you have it.
And it was all good.
Yeah, that holy boldness of setting the intention. And
Yes.
it's like, and knowing that it's like that you set the intention, and it does come to fruition. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
So is there anyone else right now, or that's abundance consciousness? Yes, that's the abundance consciousness. You know, so for me, it's like those that I've shared some of my journey with when I left 11 years ago and have come back. There has been some amazing opportunities that have shown up for me, things that I would not have thought that I would have done. And during the time when I left 11 years ago, one of my stops or places that I lived was in Texas. I was in Dallas, Texas for about 2 years, and then went to Houston. So in my time at Dallas, I was at CSL Dallas, and there was an opportunity to be bold and to step into, literally kind of step into the fire of, and to help to burn away or either to move through that fire process. So Peter, if you could show the picture. So this was in 2017, and we did a fire walk. And so there was a number of us that ran through the fire. But there was an intention that had to be set beforehand in order to be able to move through this fire process. And then to be able to boldly go through this. And all the time I'm going through this, I'm like, okay, God is all there is. God is all there is. I'm moving through this with ease and grace. And, on the other end, for those of you that know, that's Reverend Karen Fry that's at the left, that's with her arms open to receive me as I'm coming through the fire. And so it was such an amazing process to go through. Will I do that one again? I don't know right now, but it was interesting to be able to be bold enough to say yes, to move through this process and to let go and burn away some things. Okay, Peter, you can take that one down. Thank you.
Excuse me, who was just speaking?
That was me. That was Rev Deb.
Oh, Rev Deb. Oh, okay. And thank you.
Thank you
for sharing that.
So in this process, as we're moving through this place of boldness, of holy boldness, Spirit keeps taking me back to the affirmation that we have. That is, I am bold, I am courageous, and I am brave. And I know sometimes that could feel a little kind of like, I don't know if I'm really, really ready to step out and do what Spirit is calling me to do right now. But sometimes you get that push, or as it was mentioned in the talk on Sunday, and Reverend Sunshine has mentioned this before, and many of you have heard this before, I'm sure, that sometimes Spirit will kind of throw a little pebble at you and say, okay, it's time to make that move. And then there may be a little stick that gets thrown at you to get your attention, saying, it's time to make that move, time to go and step into writing your book or writing your play or moving or whatever it is that Spirit is calling you to do. And then all of a sudden now it's like, yeah, okay, I'll get to it. It's like, I'm not feeling that. And then next thing you know, it's like, here comes the 2x4 that kind of comes in. It's like, okay, Spirit, I'm ready to go now. I'm good. What do I need to do? And how many times do we have to allow ourselves to get hit by the 2x4 when Spirit nudges us in the beginning to just say yes? And even if we don't know how to step into what we're being called to do, we can ask. We can actually ask Spirit. It's like, okay, Spirit, I don't know how to do this. Show me the way. Be bold enough to ask for what you want. Be bold enough to say, even when you say yes. And sometimes even in advance saying, thank you for this experience, or thank you for that's showing up, or that I'm being called to do. When I think about even with Reverend Sunshine, it's like, and all people that I know that have gone into ministerial school that are running centers right now, that's a bold move as well. Because that's an experience that some people may not, may think, oh, I don't ever want to run a center, or they think, well, maybe one day, or as Spirit guides you, you may have different opportunities, and then this gets dropped into your lap. And then all of a sudden it's like you're running a center, or, some of the ministers do focus ministries, but they're doing this work in order to support others in their boldness, to step out into what Spirit is calling them to do and provide opportunities for them to with classes. And then even when you have this community of building communities, that you bring people together in order to be able to collaborate on what is it that we can do together as a team? What is it that we can do as centers? You know, we had the showing for the save the date for the picnic, that's for not the picnic, for the family reunion that's coming up, the gathering. And that's a collaboration. And I'm sure that took, you know, the efforts of the centers to say, this is what we want to do. And so how many times have you been bold enough, even in your families or in your workplaces, to collaborate with others for a project or an idea that has come to you and you think that you're not supported? But what you know is that you're always supported, because God, if God gives you the idea, God's always going to support you in this process. So is there anyone else that wants to share about what, you know, some idea that may have come up for them, that, and this may be the reveal here tonight, that an idea may have come up for you and you don't know how to get started, or you think that you don't have the support system to do what Spirit is calling you to do? We're opening the floor here. This is the opportunity to know that right here that you're supported in whatever it is that you're called to do. You know, one of the things when I was relocating from Georgia here, and I knew that I was going to move, I just did not know the where. And for me, Spirit was like, okay, this is presented an opportunity to say that I'm coming back home. Although this is not my birth home, this has been my home for the past, well, when I was here for 26 years, both LA and the Bay Area. And the journey that I knew at the end of December, because actually when I came here in December, and I missed my family, I missed my friends, and I wanted that again. I wanted to collaborate with them. I wanted to be in these places with my family, with my friends, that I didn't have there in Georgia. And so the idea to give notice to my apartment complex and say, the end of April, I'm moving. So to pack up all my stuff, and I had a friend that came from Memphis, he came down to help me pack up my stuff, get things loaded up that I needed to have loaded up and to put in storage for now. But the whole process of this, it just felt like it was just so smooth and easy because I said yes. I said, all right, Spirit, I'm doing this. I'm making this move because this is what I'm called to do. And the journey here has been smooth and easy. And now in this process of what's next, I'm being open to listen to where I'm guided to go next, what I'm guided to do. And that's how it happens for a lot of people. It's like in meditation, you may get something that Spirit says, go take this step, go knock on your neighbor's door, or go around the corner to the store and go talk to the person that's in the store. And you never know what the conversation may be, because sometimes they may be in need of prayer and you just never know. And it's like, and in that moment, you're led to pray with them or to speak a kind word to them. So in this opportunity to be bold and audacious, this is how Spirit has created us, to step out into this boldness, that we have this path that we can walk. Peter, if you can show the second slide, please. We start to wrap this up in a few. The quote.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting it. Hold on. There we go.
And the quote that says, do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. That's from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Make your statement. Go out to do what it is that you're feeling led to do. Regardless of what people may think or may say about you or about the situation, keep on your path. Because the thing about it is that on the other side of this, there's such an amazing revelation that happens, I'm sure. Continue to be in that area. Continue to know who and whose you are. And know that you make your path. You create your canvas. If you have a white canvas board, you create the art, the drawing that's on there. You get to do that. Step out in holy boldness. Continue to move on your path. Create your path, however Spirit is guiding you to do this. And know that you're okay. And know that if you ever need help, always call for help, because there's someone around that's within earshot, heart, in that heart space, in that energetic field, that gets it and is ready to respond. You may get a phone call. You know, I was just thinking about you and I have this idea. Do you need a car for whatever reason? And it's like, and to say, yes, okay. Or do you need some food? Whatever it is, and because sometimes we may not be bold enough to go and ask for what we want, but we do it in prayer. And in prayer, Spirit sends just what we need. So as I wrap up this talk, one of the other things that I've done, which was 11 years ago, actually, which led me on this adventure to move to Georgia in the first place, but it was an adventure that shifted my consciousness and my life in such a way that if I were to go back and do this again, it would not be the same. So Peter, if you could show the last slide, please. So 11 years ago, for my 50th birthday, I went skydiving. I think I've shared this with you all before, but this was such a freeing experience. And I realized that in this place that there was no fear, that I was on the plane and there's a guy that's attached to me. He has the parachute on him. But in this moment of when I was in this plane, that I was looking inside the plane and I was like, oh, wait a minute. And I could feel myself starting to create some fear. And I stopped myself and I was like, this is how we make up fear. And then I had to bless everything, knowing that the parachute opens, that we land safely, that the plane will continue to go 30,000 feet above the ground, everything. And I just floated right into it. And that's what this reminds me of. It's like when we're walking and stepping into this holy boldness, that when we surrender the fear, the thoughts that we may have of thinking we can't do it, think about this picture and it's like just, arms wide open, allowing yourself to just fly free and trust that Spirit is doing its perfect work to make sure that what you're asking for and what it's calling you to do, that it's already done. So I just want to thank you all for this time that we've had together. Thank you for your participation and continue to step into your holy boldness always. It's never too late, but always know that it's always available right when you're ready for it. So thank you all for this time together.
Thank you so much, Reverend Deb. Let's turn on our cameras and show our appreciation and gallery view for everybody, if you will. And let's give her some love in a bold and audacious kind of way, shall we? Thank you. Look, Reverend Deb, everybody loves you.
Thank you.
So glad.
Yes. We love you. Thank you.
Thank you
Yes,
all.
Reverend Deb, so glad you're here. I'm sorry I missed most of the presentation, but I'm glad I was able to be a part of this evening a little bit, and I'm grateful for that.
Thank you, Ms. Leda.
And in terms of bold and bodacious, I think I think I've been that way most of my life, but not at this stage of my life. So that's about all I can say.
Never stop. You never stop.
Well, with that in mind, we have some bold and audacious announcements for you. Some great things coming up at the center. Reverend Deb has already talked about one of them that's coming. So I'm excited to share this information with you. Ladies and gentlemen, this coming Sunday, Reverend Catherine Sachs, Sunday, June 9th, will be speaking on Fired Up. Continuing our June theme of holy boldness, meditation starts at 10, followed by the service at 10:30. On Wednesday, June 12th, at our midweek oasis, join chaplain and practitioner Doug Myers for a deeper conversation on the topic Fired Up. Our meditation is at 6:30 and service is at 7, and it will be by Zoom. So go to our website at oaklandcsl.org and click services for the Zoom link. We are still continuing our journey on round 4 of our 2024 daily community spiritual practice using the Abundance Book, 40-Day Prosperity Plan by John Randolph Price. Today we're on the 37th day of this round of the program using the 7th affirmation in the book. Follow along daily in the order that the affirmations appear. We celebrate Pride Month in June, dedicated to the celebration and commemoration of our lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender plus communities. Pride Month began after the Stonewall riots, a series of gay liberation protests in 1969. Join Oakland Center at the 10th Annual Montclair Beer, Wine, and Music Festival on Saturday, June 15th from 12 to 6 p.m. Our center will have a booth and we need volunteers. Please contact Linda Wyman at bookstore@oaklandcsl.org if you'd like to boldly participate. Father's Day is Sunday, June 16th, celebrating and honoring fathers and father figures in our communities. It is celebrated on different days in many parts of the world, most commonly in June. Speaking of June, it's Juneteenth. Juneteenth, National Independence Day, is celebrated on Wednesday. That's in a couple weeks from tonight, June 19th, as a federal holiday in the United States. It is celebrated annually to commemorate the ending of slavery in the United States. Juneteenth is also known as Jubilee Day, Emancipation Day in Texas, Freedom Day, and Black Independence Day. Our nonprofit for June is the Middle East Children's Alliance, also known as MICA, and it works to protect the rights and improve the lives of children in the Middle East through aid, empowerment, and education. MICA provides humanitarian aid, partners with the community organizations to run projects for children, and supports income generation projects. So please visit them at www.micaforpeace.org. Here it is. Save the date. Write this down. Remember this. Join us on Saturday, August 17th from 12 noon to 5 p.m. for the ultimate family reunion of centers for spiritual living in Oakland, including Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, East Bay Church of Religious Science, and Heart and Soul Center of Light. The event will be held at Martin Luther King Jr. Regional Shoreline Park in Oakland. Registration opens later in June, so stay tuned for more information. Save the date, Saturday, August 17th, 12 noon to 5 p.m. The Spirit Treasure Bookstore is celebrating Pride Month and Juneteenth. Please donate your gently used spiritual books this month and check out the discount on Buddhas. For more information, go to bookstore@oaklandcsl.org. We have a wonderful team. We are so blessed in our community. Here's just a sampling of some of the people serving in significant roles to support our spiritual and physical and financial needs here at the center. So we honor everyone that you see here. Also, we ask you to visit csl.org to see what's happening within our Centers for Spiritual Living global organization. And always, please visit our website, oaklandcsl.org. Sign up for our weekly newsletter, The Village News. Remember to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook for special updates and content you'll only find by liking and subscribing to Oakland Center. Please like us and subscribe to the Oakland Center today. At this point in our program, I get over exuberant with being joyous and full of gratitude. It's 5G month. Last month, from good to grand to glorious. And I messed great. There's great in there with gratitude. That was last month, but I'm still influenced by that 5G power that Reverend Sunshine told us about now as we go boldly forward in our spirituality. And one of those is knowing that we, as we give, we do receive. And so if you have a gift for the center, whatever it may be in time, treasure, or talent, place it close to your heart in this moment, whether it's physically real or just mentally real, the mental equivalent of whatever it is you wish to give to the center, and let's bless it together. The more gratitude I feel, the more I am aware that the supply is infinite. I'm going to do that one more time. That sounds like a John Randolph saying in some way, but we're in the fourth round of abundance, so we are creating it and making it happen. The more gratitude I feel, the more I am aware that the supply is infinite. So how can you donate to the center? Well, all you have to do is go to our webpage where everything lives, including me. Click on the donate button up there with all the hearts. When you do that, it'll bring you to a page with several ways. You'll see at least 5 here to give via the donate icon, credit card, by mail, Zelle, by text, or even join us on Sunday for our very special walk up to the center, to the red carpet circle where our offering baskets are at our Sunday service, and give your donation. And in the spirit of 5G gratitude, meditation today and the opening prayer and our speaker was all Rev Deb. So I'm saying thank you to her in a big way again. And also, I want to recognize ministers that may be here tonight. I know Reverend Dr. Sunshine Michelle Coleman, who lovingly gives us great longitude and latitude with this platform on Wednesday nights and supports us every Wednesday night, remotely or later on the recording. She's always present and supporting us just like Spirit. So thank you, Reverend Dr. Sunshine Michelle Coleman. And there is a Zoom team, and they do all the work behind the scenes, and they work hard and good and well. We have the best group. Peter up in Portland, Peter, Gum, and Alice Herndon and Alice Knudsen. I want to give a shout out to Trisha Gregoire, who is here tonight. I think she might still be here. Also on our Sunday AV team, serves us and makes the show happen. And then, of course, administration upstairs, Steve Carter. All these people have a small but important role in making our Wednesdays and Sunday services so efficient and effective. So please show your 5G gratitude towards them so much. So with that in mind, it's time for a closing prayer. Reverend Deb, who and whose will it be?
I've asked Reverend Sunshine if she would do the closing prayer for us tonight.
Outstanding. Reverend Sunshine?
Yes, how could I turn down a request to do prayer? And so I am so grateful, so grateful, so grateful for each and every one of you and me and us, the we, as we come together as a reflection of Spirit. We know that we are bold, we are courageous, we are brave, and that we walk with sacred audacity. As Rev Deb said to us tonight, we were created that way. So who are we to not walk in and find the courage, find the holy boldness within, to seek within, to find the faith and the strength and the courage to step on out there? And we will be met with more upliftment, with more confidence, with more joy, with more abundance, with more. And so we simply support one another here at the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, this Wednesday night Oasis team and beyond in our beloved community, for us each and all to step up, to rise up, to step up, to stand up, to be that sacred, audacious being that we are in spirit, with that holy boldness. And I know we're blessed because of it. We are all blessed when we step out as Spirit has led and guided us to do. So with gratitude, we give thanks for Reverend Deb. We give thanks for all the folks that Paul mentioned. And we give thanks that we can support one another here together tonight. And as we go about our way this evening, under safety and protection, with that holy bold step, listening and leaning in, listening to Spirit's message for what it is for us to do, so that we can be blessed and showered with blessings. I know that we are blessed because of this very thing. And so we simply lean into that and give thanks for all of the abundance and the abundance consciousness that we live as this evening and forevermore. So in releasing this word together, we do so knowing it is done right now. It is true. We're claiming the truth, and we're experiencing that right now. And so we just let it go when we let it be. And together we can proclaim what? What do we say? And so it is.
And so it is.
Yay, yay, yay.
Blessed be.
Blessed be. You're
Yes.
right, Alice.
I have a request